Okay, so I want to talk about creating a rubric for a syllabus review project. There's two really great articles, Bowie and Boss and Drabinski. They contain rubrics. But if we want to write our own rubric, how would we do that? So the AAC&U 2009 rubric has 5 learning outcomes related to information literacy. So they're easy to conceptualize. When we read something, what does that mean? So let me read you what the words say, but to create the rubric, we can conceptualize. So as it is written, it says, number 1, determine the extent of information needed. Number 2, access the needed information. Number 3, evaluate information and its sources critically. Number 4, use information effectively to accomplish a specific purpose. And number 5, access and use information effectively and legally. So those were written in 2009 by the AAC&U. This is more than 10 years later. In reading that, what does that mean for our rubric and our syllabus review project? So are we able to rephrase those? One way to say it is, what is the size and scope of the project? Authoritative sources, a research question and a thesis, and citation standards and copyright information. Also, is any of that in the syllabus? How much of it is in the syllabus? So just to read the list one more time from 2009 and the AAC&U. Determine the extent of information needed. Access the needed information. Evaluate information and its sources critically. Use information effectively to accomplish a specific purpose. Access and use information effectively and legally. So that last one relates to citation and copyright. In terms of a specific purpose, that to me means both a research question and a thesis statement. Evaluate information critically. That speaks to authoritative resources. And the first two, determine the extent of information and access the needed information. The two rubrics that are included in the peer-reviewed articles, Boss and Drabinski and Bowie and Boss, the one from 2014 asks, does the syllabus require? And the one from 2019 asks, to what extent does the syllabus require? Also, one of them has 5 questions, the other one has 6 questions. The original AAC&U rubric from 2009 had 5, but the Bowie and Boss article from 2019 has 6. I wrote one that has 4. In writing the rubric, the evaluators on their own need to consider what is information literacy. A lot of it is citations. A lot of it is authoritative materials. How the rubric addresses questions about research question, the scale of the project. Because, conceptually, at the end of the vertical supply chain, exactly what are the students learning? information literacy, authoritative materials, size and scope of the project, citations. There's a lot of ways to understand this. And, just from the example of Bowie and Boss and Drabinsky, one has 5 questions, one has 6 questions. You could write a rubric with 3 questions. But just between these 2 articles from 2014 and 2019, one of them asks, does the syllabus require? And the other one asks, to what extent? So one option is to pretty much exactly use these rubrics included in these articles. But to write your own rubric, that seems, people can do that easily, but the process of writing a rubric is, it might be a modernization of the language, because some of these, the AAC and U rubric was, that list is from 2009. It might even be a modernization of the terms. The syllabi, how much do the syllabi change? But, you and I can think, what does that list actually mean to us in what sentences we would say? So to me, it means size and scope of the research project, citations and copyright, authoritative materials, research questions, and thesis statements. So that's it in terms of, the process of writing our own rubric for a syllabus review project.